Hi, Sarah Duncan here, aka Duncan Girl, here to formally introduce myself to all of you out there in the St. Louis and surrounding areas and tell you about my upcoming podcast, Duncan Girl. Today we have Jason Licavoli with Cruisin Lindbergh. Jason, can you tell us a little bit about, first of all, I know you pretty well, but can you tell us, first of all, about how you kind of know me and a little bit about what Cruisin Lindbergh is?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you helped sponsor this car show we just did, and I greatly appreciate it. That's how we really get to know each other, because, man, the people that support me and I get to support you, I love that. That's St. Louis right there.
Yes. Yeah, what is Cruisin Lindbergh?
Gotcha.
So if I'm new to St. Louis, and actually to tell you the truth, before I met Big Stu and you, I wasn't familiar with Cruisin Lindbergh.
Gotcha.
You would hear about Cruisin Lindbergh because of the history that it has, but you don't actually know what Cruisin Lindbergh is. What is Cruisin Lindbergh? What does it support? Things like that.
Well, so, I mean, it is a historical thing, since the 50s. Everybody's been cruising up and down Lindbergh, pretty much because Ronnie's was a drive-in movie theater. So cars are going to go there, and then afterwards you go get a burger and get some fries with your gal. And so it was a natural thing. But when the pandemic happened, I just started a Facebook group to talk about Cruisin Lindbergh, to remember the good old days, because everybody's bored sitting at home and something to do. And we're chatting and bringing in a bunch of friends, and it's great. And I'm like, what if we just, because again, things were really bad at the time. I'm like, we should go cruising one more time. Everybody's doing the birthday parades, and we could drive up and down the street and listen to radio. So I put an event on Facebook, and it became a whole thing. The news picked it up, and then everybody's social media, the power of social media. Now there's 20,000 plus people in the group, and we do big things. And so it was never my goal to have a Cruisin Lindbergh group. It just kind of happened, And now that it's here, these people they're passionate like me. They grew up doing it, and so we've opened up Pandora's box, and we're having a good time,
Yes, which is very important, because I know that participating in the last 2 car shows, you can see how much history and how much people really get into showing their cars off and cruising hours up and down Lindbergh. Yes, which is amazing. One of the things that you said that you're doing big things. What are some of the things that Cruisin Lindbergh is doing this year?
Well, so we try to do a cruise event 3 times a year, one spring, one summer, one fall. And over the last couple of years, we tried to do some car shows and, different fundraiser type events. We did one at Lindbergh High School for the band. We did one at Melville for the youth sports organization. We do a few car shows that are just raising money for nonprofits. And, we raised $20,000 for the local fire department. It felt so good. And it's sponsors like you, that help support what we're doing so that we can have great trophies and cool T-shirts and all that fun stuff so that people want to come and have a good time. So when they come, they spend money, and we get to support this organization. So Needy Paws, Wounded Warrior. I mean, we've done a lot of different nonprofits. So I'm always looking to who needs help and how can we help them.
Awesome. So what makes you, when you say that, do you have parameters? If I wanted to get in contact with you, so say I know that you have a lot of people that you work with, but if I wanted to get in contact with you to say I have a charity, so forth, how do I go about doing so? What can I do for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm always looking for that. I'm looking for my community to say, hey, I ask them, who do you know? How have you been benefited? Who do you see that needs our help? Because it is a community. And so we try to land on the best possible nonprofits that will benefit local. I'm a hyper-local guy. And so Facebook, if you message me on Facebook, that's the best way to and I have other admins and moderators, and they kind of help filter things. So, because I'm one guy, trying to wrestle this beast. But Facebook is I'm old guy, so I do Facebook. It's not a real business, so it's hard to define because it has such a rich history. Everybody knows Cruisin Lindbergh, but now it's there's this Facebook group, and you can be part of this community in a different way. And so it's really fun to see the age brackets, right? There's a 16-year-old that just got his license that, put a stereo in a Honda Civic, and he's up there. And then there's the guy in the $500,000 hot rod who built that thing by hand, and it's just amazing craftsmanship and the creativity and the diversity of cars. And, you come out with your big stomper truck, and you're part of that community. And then the motorcycle guy and the rat rod and the hot rod, all those guys come together. And so
you're saying if you are a car head or you're into all of that, it doesn't matter necessarily what type of car, as long as you're into it, that you can actually participate?
Absolutely.
Okay, which is a huge deal.
Open to the community. And if you're a car lover and you don't have a cool car, there's a lot of people like that out there, right?
Yes.
Not everybody has the
not
fun,
everybody
cool car.
has the ability.
But if you appreciate cool, fun cars and you just like to be around cool people, like that's what Cruisin Lindbergh is. The cars are important, but the people, the community, the way they interact, the things that are important to them. There's a bonding there. And so what's great is, I mean, in the whole world, everybody goes cruising. So the car itself is beautiful, and you can build the car and you can do all the things, but what about driving? So Cruisin Lindbergh is like the enthusiasm of driving your car. And I always encourage my buddies with those garage queens that never get out. It's like, take that car out on Cruisin Lindbergh night. Take it out, let everybody see it, because everybody's out there. You know?
Yes. So what's your favorite part of Cruisin Lindbergh? Because I know that I've been to a couple of the shows, and it's two different types of atmospheres. So you have the car show during the day where you can show off the car, and then you have the actual cruising in that atmosphere. What would you consider your best or your most favorite part of it?
You know, so what Cruisin Lindbergh really is, we do a car show to give an outlet, a way for people, because when you're driving around up and down the street, you can't talk as much. So car show is a much better way to interact, and then you can learn more about that guy's car, and then you see him up on the boulevard driving, So I personally enjoy just the casualness of our cruise nights, and we're supporting our local community. Everybody's shopping at the stores, and I feel like that's a magical time. 3 times a year for 3 hours, right, on a Saturday. That's a magical, like there's an excitement in the air. There's electricity on the boulevard. But during the day at the car shows, that's where we're able to raise money for these nonprofits and these organizations. So, I mean, for me, it's like the excitement of being on the street at night on Lindbergh, a 3-mile magical stretch that everybody's loved for so long. Like, when we do that again together, every time we do it, it's magical. And the car shows are good, but this doesn't have that magic. So the cruise nights are just the best.
The best with all of the families. Because I remember, like I said, whenever I was there.
Were you surprised by that when you saw that? Like,
to tell you the truth, they line up like early, and they get their spot, and they stay there, which I thought was amazing. To watch the cars, and they will go for hours. Didn't you say one time that it actually got backed up into the Illinois at one time?
So that was one of the concerns with the local police, and again, it's a lot of us old heads that are out here trying to enjoy our past, So it's less about showing off your speed or your power. It's more about showing off how it looks, right? Your craftsmanship. And so, blocking streets and clogging streets is definitely not the goal. So we got a 3-hour window, 6 to 9, 3 days a year. And so I think it works out good. The local businesses love it, right?
That's what I was going to say. So you have them.
Leo's Pizza, man.
This is going to bring in the commerce.
Busy
yes, I was going to say, they are probably just slammed that day, which is actually really good, because then not only do you raise money for charities, but you're also able to stimulate the economy and have people come in and showcase local businesses as well, too, which I think is amazing.
And every time you spend money, there's tax revenue, right?
Correct.
For the county, for the municipality,
Correct.
for the schools.
So you're building up not only just the revenue to the actual community, so it stimulates the economy across the board.
Amen.
So tell me a little bit about Jason. So Jason's really into cars, but tell me a fun fact that nobody really actually knows about Jason.
Fun fact. Well, I got 4 kids. A lot of people think I'm out here just clowning, but it's like, I got 4 kids, and they keep me busy.
Yes.
And I'm a football coach, and my girls do cheer, and I'm running like crazy. And I'm on 4 different boards, right? Like, I'm on boards, so like that takes time and meetings and all that stuff. So finding a good balance in life is difficult. So for me, it's like, what's embarrassing is I don't have many hobbies. My car is my hobby, And I drive this Boss Hog Cadillac, and that son of a gun breaks down every time I turn around. Unbelievable.
But it's still really pretty.
But we love our cars. We hate them.
It's still really pretty.
It's
still really pretty.
Car, though, right?
And it's very unique.
Yeah.
Very unique, especially with the, what's it called? The horns across the front?
Yeah, the horns on the front. Yeah.
Yes, makes it very...
Not everybody knows what the Boss Hog is, but... If you're old like me, you watch television, and if you love cars when you were a kid, that's an iconic car that was on TV. And he was kind of the bad guy in the Dukes of Hazzard, so I hate to be the bad guy, right? But it's a cool car no matter what. And I like to, my 4 kids jump in, we go get a snow cone. Like, that's what it's all about for me. So.
Yes. started kind of your Cruisin Lindbergh has really taken off back in 2020 when you started the Facebook. How has it changed? Because I'm sure that it's changed drastically in the last 4 years, especially after it has grown so much as well.
It's funny, like that's a great question because when I think about each year how much change is happening. The car shows become bigger, and you're able to raise more money because you're building upon the momentum of each event. And the diversity of the types of events that we've had, different locations, raising money for different reasons. Like, I sell a lot of T-shirts and hats and stuff. I mean, like that's not what I signed up for, but that was the demand over time, and finding like pop-up locations that are friendly, building relationships. We got some stuff coming up this year. I'm working on that. I was working on last year, but it's finally coming to fruition. So, yeah, it's constantly evolving, and my goal is to just like, what do the people want? Like, how can we bring more fun events to bring people together? And we had a little jaunt there where we weren't together as much, and that's how this whole thing started, was through the fractionalization of people and everybody's feeling alone, and we bring them together in a physical realm. Because you can hear the motor and smell it and feel it. Can't do that on your phone. And so physical events, I love that.
Yes.
And I feel like as we go forward, we're going to be able to do more good in the community because we're stronger, we're bigger.
Yes, and bigger, which you hope back to it. One of the things is when you talk about helping the community, is that, I'm assuming that's what you would consider one of your most important goals with Cruisin Lindbergh?
Absolutely. So I'm a real estate investor, and I feel like with my little flips and I try to do nice rentals, and I do a lot of Airbnb, and I try to bring value where I go and do good business, right? So when it comes to Cruisin Lindbergh, it's like I want to bring value to my local community. I want to bring value to the schools. I don't want to cause any troubles. I want to, I guess, attract good people. I feel like we have some of the best people in this community. Like, they help one another, and they're just giving of information and sharing. Like if you need to get something done to your car, you go to this community because these are trusted people who know they've been through down the road, and they go, oh, no, don't go there, do this. Here's how you fix that problem. Here's somebody that can fix it. So resources, the power of resources, the networking involved. I'm getting real estate opportunities through my people in the car world. I love that kind of synergy,
Yes.
So
Which is, you can benefit. It sounds like multiple people benefit from having Cruisin Lindbergh.
Absolutely.
You had said there's 3 shows each year. When are those 3 shows?
Well,
and
so
where?
there's 3 cruise nights.
Cruise
every
nights,
year.
excuse me.
So
Cruise
we do a
nights.
spring event, a summer event, and then a fall event. So right now, July 20th is the next one. We just did April 27th was the last one. And then July 20th, and then we do October 19th. So I try to do usually April, July, and October. We did a big car show at the mall last year, and car shows take a lot of work.
Yes.
And so, as much as I love car shows, we might take a break this year and not do an October one. Still working on some in July. I like when somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to do this thing. Can you help me? I love to sponsor car shows. Putting on car shows is just not my thing.
What's the difference, though? When you say, I understand like sponsoring the car shows and being more of the MC and promoting, but what does it actually take? What are some of the things that maybe people don't realize that it takes to put on a car show?
Well, the first time I did one at Lindbergh High School, they had 75 volunteers. That's how many people they knew, because they've done the, what do you call it, where everybody brings the goods, I can't remember, flea market kind of thing.
Yeah.
When they do that flea market event, it takes a staff like that, because you got to serve food, you got to have security, you got to have, and they have multiple golf carts and walkie-talkie, like they're a machine, operating machine, and they've done it many times. So when they want to do a car show with me, it's so much easier for me to just go in and go, hey, here's all the details, but you have the army of people to do it. When it's my car show, I'm begging my friends. I got my kids working. I got my wife sweating over here dying.
And her friends helping too.
Yeah, and my brother, and my cousin, and my
I
nephew,
need your
and
help.
everybody. my dad's got dementia. He's out there slinging shit. I don't know.
Second cousin's removed.
Yeah.
To help, yes.
So,
but
I don't. An organization that and they're all motivated. So when we did the Melville Car Show, it's the youth wrestling for Melville and Oakville, along with the football and cheer for Melville. So we got 4 organizations basically all coming together to have enough power to do something. And we raised $6,000. I've never done that before,
which is huge.
It's
for
amazing.
a school.
And we sold out the car show. We oversold it because people left, and that's how you do it. And everybody that came had a good time, and the kids are involved, and like there's stuff for the kids to do, which is always important to me.
That's
at
what I
all
was
my
getting ready to
events,
say
you know?
is okay, so it's a family event. So you have tell me if I was to go bring my kids, and I understand that we totally understand it's a family event, what can I expect? It's not just to look at the cars, but it's family oriented as well. So what kind of things can you expect from a car show?
Well, so like on the cruise night, you know, the car show, the cars driving around is kind of the show, right? And there's kids there, but it's less kids because it's evening. The car shows, though, I have 4 kids, so we got bounce houses and face paintings, and we had these little Power Wheel races for the little kids, and we had at the April car show we had a video game truck, and like just I'm a big kid, so as many fun things that we could throw in there, and we keep these kids busy because then the car guys and the car gals they get to walk around and enjoy that part.
Yes,
but I love to see Grandpa and Dad and child walking together, whether they're the car people or just the spectator. Having kids fall in love with cars, like I look back and I think there was a few things that made me fall in love with cars. And it was the community and the people and the fun. I'm like, look at all the people having fun.
And it's definitely a group to belong to. Like you always have your car groups and so forth. If you are into cars, you talk about cars, you know how to fix the cars. I don't know if it's called like a gearhead, I think, or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, you seriously, if you are into that, that's what they talk about completely down to, I did this to my car. So I think that's really neat to see. And how proud they are.
If you're a sports person or I don't know, if you're in a niche and that's your world, then, so for me, I do a lot of different things, right? So I love my car, and I love my car community, but I'm not a car guy. I don't own a car business. I'm not turning my wrench every day, But there's some guys that they eat, sleep, and they breathe cars. That's how they live. And I love those guys too. And I love the kid who just, like I said, puts some new wheels on his little Civic, and he's out there,
out there, because he's so proud, so proud too. Yes,
some POSs.
But you took so much care of that though too.
Shined it up on a Saturday night. Yeah.
Yep, and washed it and cleaned it out. Oh yeah, completely.
Cruisin Lindbergh, because you asked earlier about if you're not from here. Ronnie's was such a hub that was the movie theater for South County everywhere. And it was
still kind of is,
there.
I think.
It is.
I still think it kind of is.
And the plaza that's there, and it used to be a drive-in movie theater, so you can imagine how big that whole thing was at one point.
Way.
It was a huge thing.
But that was amazing.
And so, that when you have a hub like that, it's natural that's going to be a place where people are going to hang out before we all had cell phones. We forget this BC before. So,
what? There was a time before cell phone?
Yeah.
No.
We had carriages and horses and stuff. It was great.
And bonnets. And we burned wood for heat. Yeah. So, what would you consider your most favorite car? So you've been to several and you've done several car shows. What would you consider your most standout car? For those that actually are obsessed with cars, what would you say your best one would be? That's most memorable.
So I'm an Italian guy, so I always like a Ferrari. It was always a dream car, but every kid dreams of having a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, things like that. That's such a good question. And growing up, I remember having some people that had like Novas and Chevelles and Monte Carlos and things like that. So I don't have a specific car, but I know that like a black hot rod from the 70s, an Oldsmobile 442. I mean, any of those, but a black one with the chrome and just boom, 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 boom. I there's so many of them.
Yes.
But like a 69 Camaro is just kind of an iconic one too. But I've always envisioned myself, like I think I'll still buy that car one day. Just a mean black on black, just muscle car,
Yes, I'm a truck person, so that's why I was asking.
Gotcha.
Was I'm specifically into your bigger trucks, your bigger, your dualies, the ones that are souped up versus the cars. So I was just curious.
Favorite one though?
My favorite, like if I were to pick a truck, it wouldn't necessarily be what kind of make. It would have to be like a dually.
Okay.
Because you'll have the style of the truck with the dually, with the double wheels and the big old butt, I guess you could say, the back end of it. The wide end of it, Right. Because most of those will be able to have the pulling power too, the horsepower that you can pull almost anything.
Oh, so you want a boat. You just need a truck to pull the boat.
Yeah.
I get it.
I need a boat. I need a sugar daddy. No, I'm just kidding. So you had said the next show is coming up. When is the next cruise night?
Yeah, so July 20th, Saturday, July 20th, and from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And like I said, kind of like Tesson Ferry to Highway 55, that area, a little further, all around, there's going to be so many beautiful cars.
Yes.
I got a little something I might do during the day, haven't decided. Same way with October 19th.
Top secret, so you're going to have to just come out and find out anyway.
Yeah, just come out. It's going to be a good time. And check the Facebook thing. Like, that's how I communicate. You want to talk to me? Facebook. That's it.
And on your Facebook page, isn't it a community? So it's like everybody. It's not just admins, correct?
Absolutely.
It's everybody can get in and like show off their cars if they went and so forth. So it's actually like a community.
Well, and what's really cool is that everybody can share on there. I mean, it's a private group though, so you can't share. Like if you post on there, we can't share it outside of the group. So it kind of stays in house, and sometimes the burnouts and the stuff that happens that I hear about. I don't know.
Jason, plead the fifth. I don't know what you're talking about.
What happens on the boulevard?
What you talking about?
No,
Yes.
but it's almost like a social obligation at this point. These people are having so much fun at these events. It's like we have to do it. And I might be steering the ship, but like it takes a whole crew, and we have to do it because it deserves to stay alive. Do you know?
Yes.
That's a weird motivation in life.
Done it for so many years. What would be your biggest turnout? So I know that each time that it's building and you've built upon it, what would be your biggest turnout? I guess with number of cars, or you could say the number of people that came into it. What would be your biggest turnout?
So like the number of people that attend is always hard, but like we had a car show, we had 422 cars, which that's a lot of cars for a car show.
Huge.
But we've done 400 car shows multiple times, so that's what's weird. And the good Lord has blessed me with some weather. I don't know. I've been blessed with good weather because if it rains, zero come.
Correct.
They estimate there's 5,000 to 10,000 people out on a cruise night. 5,000 to 10,000 people are out there between 6 and 9 p.m. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And but the type of cars, the quality of cars, and the diversity of vehicles, motorcycles. I mean, I see things I've never seen before, and I love that. And I love the creativity. It's an outlet for creativity. And some people paint, and some people dance, and some people build cars.
Go to car shows.
Yeah.
And show off their cars.
Yeah.
Yes. So just making sure that we have clarified, if I wanted to be involved in the car show, and I would want to reach out to you via Facebook. Okay.
Well, Facebook's the best way to message me. I mean, info at cruisinlindbergh.com. I mean, I do own that. I don't check my email, but if you want to email me, send me an email.
Give him like
we're on
5 or 6
Instagram and all the
days,
socials and stuff. I juggle a lot of things.
Checks his email like he does most people mail.
I tell my football people too, like you text me 3 days later, I'll answer your question. That's how long it takes. Good. No, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
No, and I appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming out because, like I said, it's the giving back to the community, which is a huge deal, and the fact that it's Cruisin Lindbergh not only supports the community, but the school districts as well as charities and so forth. It's just a great opportunity to be able to give back to the community and enjoy the cars and having a great time with whatever you're.
Yeah. If you can, have fun while you're doing good, that's how you want to do it, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
So.
So, thank you, Jason, for telling us about Cruisin Lindbergh. I know that you had mentioned previously about being a real estate investor. So, what is it that you invest in? Is it just the housing, or can you tell me a little bit about some of your real estate investments?
Sure. Mostly all St. Louis, because I'm a St. Louis guy.
Yes.
I currently have a bunch of Airbnbs, but I used to flip property. So 20 years of being a real estate investor, I always was flipping property. I own the Jefferson County Real Estate Investors Club. I got a place called Graffiti Loft. I got a bunch of units downtown Wash Ave. So just diversify, but it's all still real estate. Love real estate. I got some property in Ditmer and DeSoto. So again, just try to diversify, but all residential real estate.
Nice. When you had said some of your Airbnbs, correct me if I'm wrong, they have each location has a different vibe, correct?
Absolutely.
So can you, you mentioned like the Graffiti Loft. What is the Graffiti Loft like?
So Graffiti
As an
Loft is located in Soulard, so that neighborhood obviously makes it different. Soulard and Soulard. But giant graffiti murals of loud, bright color paint and, you know, just rough textures of like that lofty, open ceiling, you know, textured wall, brick, exposed brick, all those kind of things, all those elements, urban elements. So like you have the place that's naturally cool, and then I'm putting up these big graffiti murals, and they make for great backdrops for photos and videos, things like that. But we do a lot of birthday parties and bachelorette parties. And
what could you use the Graffiti Loft for? I think since I've actually been to the Graffiti Loft, I think one of the things you could do is you could do like birthday parties. It's very specific vibe, but the location being right there off of Soulard makes it phenomenal for if you wanted to have like your birthday party or a bachelor party or a party of any sort, because you can go there.
We've had a lot of divorce parties. That's a new thing.
I can see that. I can see that as I mean, right there.
There's a debate
There's a we don't want to talk about that. So you had said there's the Graffiti Loft in Soulard. What other locations?
So I have a dozen units downtown in Wash Ave, and like I got the sports unit and the boho, and they're all just condos that are downtown. So on Wash Ave, they're all condos, so similar looking units, 2-bed, 3-bed, 4-bed, they're pretty large, and I'm right on Wash Ave, so Blues game, convention, like we get. So that's kind of the cookie cutter hotel alternative package. I got some partners on that deal. And then I have a house on the hill, and I've kind of diversified. But I bought a cave out in Festus, and that one is very unique. It's a crazy old hippie built a house in a cave. Bless his heart for doing it. It used to be a roller skating rink and a concert venue, and it's like this legendary place in Festus that is the most intriguing. I call it my unicorn property because it's the most intriguing property, and the rich history is like you cannot replicate that. But it's a 15,000 square foot cave with 40-foot ceilings, and it just feels different.
It's a cave. It's legit.
It sounds
in a
different.
Cave
it smells different. It's 66 degrees right now when it's 100 degrees outside. Hallelujah for that.
Facts.
I just, you know, in real estate, it's hard to come by something that just it shocked me when I saw it, and I had to have it. 7 years later, I finally just bought it.
You finally bought it.
Yeah. That's follow up right there. You know, real estate's all about follow up.
Correct, and that's for sure. One of the things, if I wanted to use, if I wanted to use one of the properties, I do have that opportunity, correct, to be able to say I want to use the Graffiti Loft or something like that, based on whatever my needs or desires are, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
So
everybody asks me, how do I book? I'm like, well, I mean, we're on Airbnb and VRBO, but you can also direct book. So if you went to graffitiloft.com, I mean, if somebody contacts me, hey, I want to rent your place, you can rent it directly from me. We have a contract. It's renting an apartment, but for one day. And so you get to, and you can rent it for a week or a month. You know, a lot of my downtown stuff, we were housing a lot of nurses for quite a while. And they would do 90-day contracts, things like that. So, but it's still short-term rental. Anything less than a year is kind of short-term rental. And a furnished short-term rental, that's the business I'm in. And I love it. It's fun.